It's the most wonderful time.
Oh, I love it.
You should have like, wait. It's the most.
We're here. 3 more Mondays left to the year. Can you
It
believe
is the most wonderful time of the year.
And can you believe we only have three more Mondays left?
No.
I
But
can't.
we're doing 2 of the 3, right?
Yes. So we are going to take a week off, and we're only going to do 2 of the 3. But just to let everybody else know, we just have 3 left. So we are on. If you're,
but that doesn't mean they're getting rid of us because there's a whole year ahead.
We will be back for 2021. So we still have 2 more Mondays. Last week we asked you to submit what you would want to hear us talk about next year because we are creating content for 2021. And good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you're watching from. I am Giovanna Burgess-White. I am one of the hosts of Uncut Unleashed. And to my right, left, this way is my co-host, Yvette Valdenegro. Hi.
Hola. And I laugh because every time we just dive right in and we like introduce ourselves like 10 minutes into the podcast. But hello and welcome to those that listen.
Yeah.
Which
listen and watch. Because
when I say this with such a humble joy in my heart, it kills me every time someone says they listen because something inside me seriously goes, really? But then the other part of me goes, yay! And we have really good feedback. And so I just want to do a quick little shout out to Kate if she's listening. I got to get to know her. We did a really long consultation because we had so much fun. It just kept going and going. But there are people listening. So I'm really happy that people are. And it's great.
Yeah.
So welcome to those that are new. Yes, we're as goofy as we appear. But the great thing is we balance it out. We call it Uncut and Unleashed. The podcast is called Uncut and Unleashed because we don't really know what the hell we're doing. No, I'm just kidding. Because we like to keep it real, honest. We're both in the wedding industry, and we felt in the very beginning of the pandemic, we said we want to make sure that the wedding world stays connected to the couples getting married, and it shouldn't be one-sided. It should be the perspective of what is really going on out there from both perspectives and giving the real deal. So we keep it uncut and unleashed.
Yes. And if you are just now joining us and you had no idea that we've been doing this for, I don't know, the last 6 months, you can go to 2 different places. I'm going to post. You can go to justengageuniversity.com. Both Yvette and I have an amazing free page with tools, resources for couples that are thinking about getting engaged, couples who are engaged, couples who are planning their wedding. And then we have a completely different private group that we started, I don't know, maybe back in March. And that's really for the wedding industry, the event industry, and couples that are really just having a hard time planning. Maybe they lost their venue. Maybe they just didn't have their wedding through COVID. So it's really more of a support group and community. I'm going to put both links on there. We would love for you to join us on both, on one, whichever one fits best for you, because not only do we have this podcast, we have tools like articles, resources, PDFs, planning during a pandemic, what it's going to look like. We really have had an amazing group of guests on the show, from other wedding experts to couples. And we really just want to keep that inspiration going and just let everybody know that you are not alone. I think right now, especially through the holidays, we just want to be an inspiration to all. So you can just watch our shows, listen to our shows, go look at the tools and resources we put up there for you, and then send us anything that you want or need from us, because that's really what this is for. This is for you. For your partner, so that y'all can plan. You have a place to go be with other couples. And if you're in the wedding or event industry, you're not alone either. So just a little bit about that. You guys can see in the comments, I have both groups up. And then we have an amazing episode today. We love when we bring guests on.
Yes.
We have an amazing episode. We have 2 parts. So we'll definitely start with our guests first. But after our guests, we want to talk about January. Yvette and I have a calendar already up for some great things that are happening in January. So don't worry, we may be taking a little bit of a break, not that much, and then we'll be back to help you with so many things in the new year. So I'm going to pass it off to you so that you can introduce our amazing guest.
Yay. Okay, so we once a month, Pop-Up Wedding Houston partners with Mia Bella Houston, and we have been doing what we call pop-up events. And we just, that just seems like so long ago, but it was really just, 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago? Yeah. December 5th. No. Yes, December.
Oh, it was December 5th. That's my fault. Don't look at my comments. Oh my God, fire me now. I put 11/21.
That's okay. I mean, I swear, I'm like, yeah, wasn't it December 5th?
It was.
Yeah, okay, December 5th. December 5th, back to reality. We did our December pop-up event. So what that means is that we decorate the venue. We partner with all of our vendors. We all get together, and then we sell different time slots for the couples. Now, what I want to say about that is because I get it. When someone calls me, they're like, oh my gosh, there's elopements, there's pop-ups, there's pop-up events, you do weddings, DIY. I mean, like, it's all over the spectrum. Mainly it's all over the spectrum because I really do want to help people no matter at what phase of their planning they're at. And so it's kind of like I have one-stop shop. You can just come to me with whether it's 2 people getting married or you're 200. But anyway, the huge, huge benefits to these pop-up events is that we are combining all the resources, tools, and really finances to put together one day that is divided and shared by the couples getting married. So instead of, for example, spending, let's just say your floral was $3,000 worth of floral decor, you're not spending that floral decor on a backdrop or tables and all that kind of stuff. You're sharing that cost because multiple people are coming that day to use the same backdrop that you are. But it doesn't take away from the uniqueness because every single couple still gets to pick their own cake, their own bridal bouquets, and so on and so forth. And today, I'm really excited. You know, weddings tend to be a little bit on the more girly favored side, I guess. And I don't know why that is, because when we talked about this for trends that we saw in 2020, moving on to 2021, man, these guys are getting more involved, whether it's in the beginning of the planning phase, whether it's that they have an opinion on what they want, or whether it's afterwards, whatever, they're more involved during the wedding. It just seems like guys are getting a lot more involved in the wedding industry or not industry, but the weddings in general. So we invited Mohammad to come and share from a guy's perspective. And we've never had just a guy. We've had couples, we've had the girls, but we've never had just a guy, which I think is going to be really interesting, but you'll love his personality. I don't know if Rihanna's going to be with him. It doesn't matter. We'll get her perspective too. But we just wanted him to come on and share. He doesn't even know what we're going to talk about. We're just going to wing it and talk about pop-ups in general and just hear from his perspective, his thoughts. So let's welcome and bring in Mohammad.
Oh, hello.
Hey guys.
Hey
How
guys.
are you?
I'm good.
Yay. Are you solo?
Actually, she's in the house right now, so I mean, whenever you want, I can call her up too, but she's extremely shy. You guys know how she is.
We got to meet her. She's so sweet. You guys are such a sweet couple, but
Thank you.
she's and beautiful. I mean, you scored on that one.
Yeah, I sure did.
Very beautiful.
First of all, congratulations again. Second of all, can't wait to hear about your honeymoon. Third, your groomsmen, your whole bridal party.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about good look. I mean, all of you, the presentation, I was so impressed. Very good looking, all about the style. This is what we love to see at weddings. It's a balance between the partners, between bride and groom. I mean, your whole family was so amazing to work with. And I can't wait for you to talk about your experience with what we did only 2 weeks ago, even though it feels like it was so long ago.
Yeah, it does feel like a while ago. Yeah, well, I mean, it's good to hear that. You guys are giving us good feedback at our own wedding, so I mean that's a good thing. So I mean the whole pop-up wedding was just amazing. It saved a lot of time, a lot of stress on us, definitely a lot of stress on Rihanna as well. And the fact that you guys were very open to change, last minute change, last second change, because I know we had the whole thing with the officiant going on, and then you guys were able to switch that around just last second. Was just amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to start from the very beginning because describe who you and Rihanna are, because I know that you're completely two different people who brought your lives together. So just kind of give us a quick blurb of maybe how you met and how we got to just the engagement of, oh my gosh, now we need to get married.
Okay, so Rihanna and I are both nurses. She's an ICU nurse, and I work in the emergency room. We did meet in nursing school, just as friends, of course, in the beginning, and then slowly developed into a relationship. And I was in school in Memphis, Tennessee. So it wasn't here in Houston. She's also from Marion, Arkansas, and she went down to school there. Yeah. So we just came from two different places into one school, and that's the only reason I went down there, was because of school too. It was just an accelerated program that they had. I'm able to finish my bachelor's in a year. So I took that opportunity and just went down there, finished and came back. But I met Rihanna, of course. And then after we both graduated, she ended up taking a job down here in Houston, and she moved down here. So that's the broad spectrum of it.
That's the skinny. Okay, so where's her family from?
Her family's from Marion, Arkansas. Her dad's, they reside there. They lived there their whole life. But her dad's Mexican and her mom's American. Yeah, so she has a little mix.
Okay, and then describe a little bit of your background.
So I'm from Jordan. I'm full-on Jordanian. Mom, dad, grandparents, Jordan. Everyone's from Jordan, born and raised in Jordan. I was born there actually, but came here when I was 2. So raised here in Houston.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love it. That's what I mean. You know, my entire family. Why are you in Houston? Why are you in Houston?
Yeah.
Exactly what you just said. It's a melting pot of, look at young professionals who met each other somewhere else, come to Houston, they meet, they work, they whatever, and then they decide to get married. And one of the things we'll talk about later was your personal self-expression of being from Jordan that I absolutely love. And I know Giovanna loved it. And I feel like I'm constantly pulling from people like, be you, express you, your wedding, make it exactly the way that you did it. And one of those things that you did during the wedding is you got, this is what I heard in the, rounds, I should say, is we're running around planning and, adjusting cameras or whatever. But I think it was your sister asked me, she goes, we really would like to do a special song. I'm like, go talk to the DJ, see what they have. Then I was running around and all of a sudden I knew it was getting, closer and closer to the time, but they started playing the song. You guys started dancing, but do you want to describe, I don't know if it was the song that you wanted, but do you want to describe about the music and just about the dance, really?
Yeah. So this is a cultural dance that usually happens in weddings over there. But you're talking about a line of around like 40, 50, 60. It can go up to about 100 people in one line. So as you saw there, it would just be a huge long line. But so it is a cultural dance that is done at weddings. It is done on a specific type of tune. So the music that you heard, there's a moment where you do pick up in the dance, and then there's a moment where you just walk, and then you saw us how we started moving around. You have to follow the tune of the song. That's why there's specific music to that dance. So it is a cultural dance that you do at a wedding. And we done it at my sister's wedding, and they really wanted to do it at my wedding. So we ended up, it was my sister that walked up to you and had asked for that song to be played. And
Well, I think it's great. And that's just to say, again, one of the number one things people ask, and you answer this too, is 90 minutes enough? Do you feel like 90 minutes was enough for you to get the experience of what you were anticipating going into?
I sure did, and I told a lot of my friends that weren't able to make it there, and I told them, I mean, this was the perfect place to do your wedding at, and I recommended them. I told them it wasn't too long, it wasn't too short, it wasn't a huge crowd of people, it was just the right amount. Everything was just perfect. It was right. Yeah, I mean, it's more than enough. Yeah, so it was perfect. I loved the 90 minutes.
And how did you guys hear about pop-up weddings? Like, where did you find us? Because that's one of the things that how did you find it?
Yeah, so it was Rihanna that found you guys. She was searching online. We searched at more than one hall. We looked around at different halls, and she came across you guys. Actually, we drove out, Tombow, I believe. Yeah, so we went and took a tour. I forgot who gave us the tour though. It was you. Yeah, it was. Yeah, so we took the tour and we fell in love right away. And we said, yeah, this is perfect. We don't have to, deal with the whole setup, the cake, the planning, step by step, what's next. Oh, so what now? What then? Everything was already assigned to us. So yeah. So she found it online, somewhere online. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so here it is, the big day.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, we're gonna get married. You walk in, and I just want a guy's perspective. You walk in, and what are your thoughts? Like, you walk in the venue, which you already toured, which is great because you had one up. I would say maybe 50 to 75% of the grooms that do get married, it's like they walk into this whole experience going, I have no idea what she picked, but this is like, I'm just, so a leg up on everybody. But what were your thoughts like walking in to the venue just to experience your day?
So when I first walked in, I did notice right away there's a sign that tells all the guests which way the ceremony is. The only reason I walked behind that sign was I did see Rihanna walk through that door instead of walking all the way around. So I did just sneak in through there. I did see the design right away. The design was just beautiful inside. That was the first thing that once I walked in the door, on the other side, there's a small room with a couple tables in there. I love the design in there. And I knew I was going to the groom's room. So, and I was looking forward to that. I don't know why, but I've never had that. None of my siblings have ever had that where they had their own personal room. It's a little different in our culture. So it was nice experiencing that. So I went there and my brother came in and my mom came in. We took a few photos and, but yeah.
I just want to say that nobody, so when we do these pop-ups, we do them once a month and we change the theme every month.
Okay.
One of the things that the couples love about it is that, like you said, the planning is all done. Like it's all done, but nobody knows what it looks like until they get there. The bride or the groom. So when we decided to style Decembers, we wanted to do that winter wonderland, and we've always wanted to do the all white. And I think it's for us, it's fun because we really do pick it a month out since we're doing so many pop-ups. And I just remember when Yvette and I were setting up that week before, we were like, this is like the perfect backdrop for a December wedding in Houston. Yeah. And I really just, again, your suits, just your whole family coming in. I feel like that was like the details too, our
perfect fit
and what we wanted. So it's always nice to see it's like the first look for the couple. Like they're like, oh my God, we had no idea. This is more than what we thought it was going to be. So I'm glad that you liked it.
Yeah, definitely loved it.
Oh, so what do you think was your favorite moment of the day?
So let's put aside getting married to Rihanna. I think the 360 photo booth was a blast. Oh my God, that is a must. That is a must.
Out 360 photo.
Yes.
Oh my God,
that is a must at your at your pop-up wedding. That's a must. That 360 photo booth. Everyone fell in love with it. We fell in love with it. It was amazing. Yeah, I think that was put aside getting married to Rihanna. I think that was one of the highlights of the wedding. Yeah.
So cool. Okay, so you've seen all the pictures that you got from everybody?
The 360 photo booth. Yeah. So I actually contacted them and they were very easy with sending it over. Yeah. So I have all the videos of everyone.
Yay! Yeah. It's a lot of fun. It's very interactive. The highlights are it's interactive. It's completely new and different. And contactless, so you don't have to touch a thing. They do it all for you. You just put your prop stand on, it's stuck on the circle, and then you take the photos and
yeah. See, because when we first heard about it, we didn't imagine it that way, but then when seeing it in person, we were like, wow, I'm glad we had that there. That was amazing. Yeah.
It's so funny because everyone thinks when we say 90 minutes, they're like, oh my God, it's not enough time. The time's going to fly. And then we really have it nailed down to the ceremony, the introduction dances, the toast, speech. And then as you and your bride and your just immediate family, or if you're just taking pictures with everyone, because it is a small crowd, it's in rotations. So your guests are really able to enjoy some appetizers, and then there's some sort of experience for them. And then all of a sudden it's just done and you go and you're like, oh, okay, this was perfect, versus just them watching you take pictures. Then it can take like a really long time. But we love Carmen and Jorge and his family are amazing. And they bring the TV, which is, so you can see everybody's pictures from before and the experience of the 360. So it's almost like just like a little show within a show. So
yeah.
Love it.
Right, yeah.
That's great. Well, and thank you to them at 360 Events Photo Booth. If you want more information, definitely go and check them out. And I don't know if you heard, Mohammad, before you got on, we were talking about how truly financially savings for the couples are. To me, the photo booth, the 360 photo booth, is a great example of how the price that you would pay for one day of the photo booth is divided by each couple that book. So instead of paying a huge chunk, then it's like it's divvied up, and so you actually do get to experience, the photo booth. So that's kind of a huge benefit. But shout out to them. It's a new photo booth that they got. It's super fun. I know that Giovanna and I popped on it, and Maria at the end. You're having fun too, and Jorge and Carmen make it such a great experience, and they are extremely wonderful to work with. So I'm so glad that you said that.
It was I've never seen it anywhere else. This was the first time I've seen it. Yeah, loved it. Yeah.
Okay, now you may or may not know the answer to this next question, but what do you think Rihanna's favorite moment was? And she can, if she's listening, she can peek in and say what do you think? Just from what she's saying, what do you think she thought it was?
Ray. Let me call her.
Okay.
Ray.
Smart man already. He's like, no, let me get her.
Before I get,
The answer.
Don't answer incorrectly. Not on the first 2 weeks.
And now she's like, oh my God, I can't believe he's pulling in.
Yeah, she's coming. But they just want to ask you one question. Don't be shy. It's okay.
Let's pretend it's just us.
It is just us.
It's just us.
It is just us. Yeah. Come on. It's okay. Come on. Real quick.
If she doesn't want to, she can just answer you. You can tell her. She can tell you.
She came. So they're asking, what's your favorite? Your question was, what's your favorite moment? Hey.
What do you feel like was your favorite moment during the pop-up?
Oh, he has his earpieces on. He's gonna.
Okay. Can you hear us now?
We're good. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Rihanna. Yes, later. What do you feel like was your favorite moment of the day during your wedding day?
I don't know. I mean, honestly, all of it. I mean, I was glad when the whole ceremony was over. You're so nervous, but after that was over, I mean, everything was fun. So.
I mean, it's like you don't have to have like a favorite moment or whatever. Yeah. Okay. So overall, because we get this all the time, and honestly, it's kind of weird. It's like the opposite. Most people say it's like almost too good to be true when they see the value or the expense, quote unquote, or the budget or whatever for the pop-up versus everything. Like you see the list of everything that's included, and you're like, okay, it's almost like this is weird, because when you're doing, you're shopping around for venues and someone gives you like, just to be at the venue is $8,000 rental fee, and you come around a pop-up that's, you know, they've been ranging between $4,500 to $6,000, $4,500 to $6,000. You kind of go, this is like, I don't know. So what did you guys think about the overall value and price for what you got? And you can be honest. I mean,
Yeah.
I
I personally thought it was underpriced. I thought because if you do book a venue, like you said, it's a couple thousand, and then you want to go grab a photographer, and you know, photographers can range from, I don't know, from A to 1 to 2 to 3K. We've came across some photographers that were asking for a whole bunch. And then to have, you know, like you said, that 360 photo booth in there, and then a wedding planner. I mean, that's something else too. So you have a wedding planner as well. Overall, yeah, we definitely saved a whole bunch of money that we were able to spend in Cancun. So, yeah.
I want to add in, what did your family think? Because one of the things we haven't talked about was the virtual streaming aspect, which for us is extremely important. This was born because of this pandemic. And I know that you had family from out of the country watching and from out of the state and other cities. How was the experience for your family that wasn't able to be there, to be able to watch all of that?
They loved it. They didn't have any trouble with the stream. They just wished it was until we completely left the venue itself, because they thought, oh, what, it cut off. Wait, what happened? What's going on? But it was up until, you know, the toast of thanking them for tuning in. But they loved it. They didn't have any trouble with the stream. Both my family out of the country and my friends here that watched it. Yeah,
I love it. I think that's important. We talk about that all the time, because in the 90 minutes of the pop-up event, you know, experience, the 45 minutes at the beginning is what we stream, which is, you know, the ceremony, the first dances, the toast, and the speech. So, you know, those have always been the most important moments for friends and family to watch. And even going forward, you know, in 2021 and 2022, we'll always have that available for just people who can't travel, or maybe people who aren't able to make it. So you'll always be able to have that, and it'll, you know, we give you the link that's edited that you have forever, so you'll be able to experience, see that, you know, for the rest of your life. So
that's all right. That's all right.
Well, that's good. Okay, so this is I don't know, going back to the financial thing. It's so hard because, you know, it's really tight right now with COVID. And I promise most of my consultations or people that call, the first thing they say is, you know, when I ask them, like, okay, well, what are you really wanting to do? How can I help you? They're like, well, we don't really know because things are really tight, which I get it. And that means different things to different people. So I respect that. But what would you say to a couple, or how about a guy? Because we're kind of focused in on the guys. What would you say to a guy who is listening, or, you know, you met out on the street and they're like, yeah, you did that pop-up thing. And you're like, yeah, and you're like, was it worth it? I mean, like, is it really worth me spending? Like, if they say to themselves, we only have this much, and then it just seems like that's a little bit more pressing the limit, what would you say to that person?
If they had just enough, if they weren't, okay, if they didn't hear about the pop-up wedding and they've had the amount where it would fit a pop-up wedding, and he asked me about it, I would tell him definitely go for it. I understand that due to times that you can't have as much people, but hey, you can book somewhere else and bring all these people in, but you're risking, you know, you're taking a risk there also by bringing all these people. So having that limited number of people, 25 people, is good, and it's perfect, you know, and people, your friends and family will and should understand that we can't have everyone there. And it fits the budget. It's perfect. I mean, you take the stress off of you and your bride, and that's a big thing when planning a wedding. That's just a lot to think about, a lot to deal with, and for financially, it's the best move, especially in COVID times nowadays. I think that's the perfect move to do. Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you guys. We're so glad, and we're glad that you were able to have some extra money to spend in Cancun, because that's important, to go celebrate your love and be able to take a week off and just not worry about anything.
That's right. Thank you. Thank you. We sure did. Yeah, it was beautiful over there.
Yeah, we actually went, was it now, Gio, 4 months ago?
Okay. Oh yeah, it was hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was-
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know what? And shout out to Mexico, because when the minute we got off the plane, we were like, wow, why do we feel safer here than we do where we just came from? Because everywhere we went, people were cleaning.
Yeah.
Like I remember, like here's a mask right here. I had a mask, and it's hot, so sometimes you just kind of like put it down just to talk. Breathe. Someone's in the background going, like put your mask back on. Okay.
Yeah.
Where we went, it was super clean, very efficient. So we loved it.
Yeah. We did too. From picking us up from the airport, they're standing right outside the car door with just some hand sanitizer. They'll give you it, make sure you have your mask on. I mean, it was very, very, very safe. Yeah. And even at the resort itself, they're always cleaning. Always cleaning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both for joining us.
And thank you too. I had totally forgot that both of you were nurses. So thank you also for just really being front line and taking care of everybody that's around you. I know that's a tedious but very demanding job. So I know you guys are both new, but wow, you're doing a lot. It's really the both of you, and I'm glad you have each other to come home to.
Yeah. Hey, we're trying. Thank you guys. Thank you.
And thank you for coming on. Thank you, Anna, for coming on.
And everybody watching, you'll see posts once we get our galleries and all of the fun things. You'll be seeing posts, Instagram posts, Facebook posts, so you can see this beautiful couple and their bridal party and family. So thank y'all for being on with us today.
Thank you for having us. Really
Bye,
appreciate it.
guys.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Oh, so cute.
Oh, I'm so glad she came on.
I am too. She's so sweet.
This shows. And I think, again, it's so crazy. At Mia Bella, I was trying to do the statistics, the math. John will be happy. We have wed more people that are not from Houston, do not live in Houston, families are from out of town. It's so crazy. It's like we are a destination venue for couples that or maybe they used to live here or their families used to live here, but I don't have a lot of couples that actually live in Tomball, Cypress, or even the Houston area. So I'm so excited. I'm glad they told that story because their families were fantastic.
Yeah, I know. And I really do love that I just really love it when people feel comfortable enough to express who they are, like that their family said, no, we did this in everybody else's wedding and we want to do it. Yes, this is your time. Do whatever. I mean, because if you think about it, listen, it's this actual ceremony itself, unless you do a Christian-based ceremony that has a lot of, I guess, traditional aspects to it, which could be 30 minutes. Most weddings that we do are 5 to 7 minutes, because the technical part that is required by the state of Texas is not, huge. So as long as you're both there and you're, the say I do in exchange of the rings and I don't know, all that to say, you have so much time to make it your own. So thanks again to them. And I am so happy that they mentioned the photo booth, the 360 photo booth, because it is super fun. And
I put their information already in there too. I've been like a little assistant today. I put all of it in there. So if you want to go take a look at Jorge and Carmen at 360 Events Photo Booth, I put their website up. You can go to their Instagram as well. One of our preferred vendors for both of our list.
Yes. And awesome. So this really makes me excited to talk about what we're doing in 2021.
Yep.
Because really, you just had a wedding this weekend.
We did.
I have 3 weddings this coming Saturday, and then it's a little bit of a break, and then we're revving up and going back at it. And we want to talk about so there's so much going on. And like we said, when people call in, and thank you that people really do call in and do consults or just want to get information, we set the Win Your Wedding for February 14th. But every single person I have talked to has literally said, I wish this was later. I wish it was later. Can we wish? And I'm like, oh my gosh. So after hearing that over the weekend, again, we're going to push it to April 25th, which is a Sunday at Mia Bella and just move it all over. So by popular demand and listening to all of you, because we want to make this available. I don't want to hear, oh, I can't do it. I want to hear, yes, try to win it. That's what it's there for. So we're moving it to April 25th. You still have, I think it's, God, what did I put? I think it's the end of February that you have until to send in your video or picture. And then it was March 1st that we will make the announcement on our live podcast of who actually won. I've been transcribing and changing over my website today, so most of the information is there. If you want to go in now, and all those people hopefully that are listening that wanted to do it in later on in the year, now this is your opportunity to sign up. So I'm super excited about that. The other thing we decided to do was that these elopements are really popular right now, and I understand why. It's like a panic when, hi, how are you? Oh my gosh, okay, I saw you guys elopement. What are you doing? It's like this intensity of like, we just want to get married kind of thing. So Gio and I decided we were going to change the January and the February dates that were pop-up events. We're now doing elopement events. So you can book an hour at a time. It includes the venue, the setup, myself, the plan, and the officiant, but you get to decide if you want to add on any more items.
Yeah.
But it's basically just an hour, come in, get married, rejoice, and that's it. But you still
But I already changed that. So if you want to go to the Mia Bella Houston website, it's already changed. When we talk about flexibility, we are super flexible. So we're going to start with the elopements. If you want to add more in later, great. There's going to be four time slots for each day in January. Huh?
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I put 6.
Okay, there's between 4 and 6, but if you want to add some stuff in or add some time in, they're going to be up to 4. So those are already, the dates are available. Give us a call, either Yvette and I. We have tons of pictures of our previous. We have August, September, October, November, and now December. And after this weekend, we'll have another December one. So you can see it, feel it. We've already had 4 couples on from the pop-up wedding experience. So whatever it is you need, just call us. We can send you a link. You can watch an interview. We can show you pictures. But we know that January is around the corner. And so we just want to make it as easy and flexible for you. And Mia Bella still has the option to add on your party later. We've already had 6 couples who did that in the 2020 year. So they just got their pop-ups out of the way. They did their ceremonies, and then they're just going to have a big party in 2021. And I have a couple of couples wanting to wait till 2022, whatever you guys want. We're not like, we really are being flexible to the new way of planning events. Like, toss out that book that was never written, but for some reason someone thought they wrote it. I don't have a copy. I've never seen a copy, but that book that you thought was written about weddings, just throw it out, because Yvette and I and our whole crew are rewriting the books. Guess what? You get to do whatever you want, and then we'll be the ones that help you. And we also are really happy to see, like, honestly, we're happy to see so many other venues and planners kind of going with this concept and taking it and running with it, because it is important to have flexibility during these times. There is going to be no going back. And you know, even though I did have a wedding this weekend that was at our 50% capacity. It went really, really well. But I will tell you, I was very stressed, and I haven't been stressed at all. I was stressed when Yvette and I started pop-up weddings. Then my venue went back to having 50% capacity weddings in August. But yeah, I still get nervous. I'm going to be real with you guys. I get nervous. I want to make sure that we're still following procedures and guidelines. Because again, the number one priority for us is our couples, their guests, and our staff. And we never want to put people in situations. But what this weekend did for me, because I don't want to look at it as a negative thing, because the wedding was beautiful. Like, everything was perfect. The bride and the groom were super happy. But it still reminded me that people are not educated in what's going on in the world right now. And it hurts. It hurts because I had to explain to people, hey, you know, the couple's eating. You really can't go up to them and shake their hand or give them a hug or talk to them, mask on, because they're eating their dinner, right? So it's just one of those things that I, as a planner, hate when people do that anyway. But, you know, people still looked at me like I was the crazy one. And I'm like, we're in the middle of a pandemic, y'all. Like, let's really try to keep our space. Let's wait till everyone's done eating. I know people want to be like lovey and huggy, but there's so many people right now that are at high risk. They don't even know. So let's just educate ourselves, and let's just make sure that we try to follow the rules and regulations when we're doing these type of events. Because again, we don't want another March and April to happen to our couples that are already planning or replanning or have redone their wedding for next year. The goal here is for us to thrive and survive and still be able to host events the proper way. So
Right.
just had to get that off my chest, because it did run through yesterday and this morning, because I don't, I have to make those phone calls. I'm the one who has to, luckily we haven't had a COVID breakout, but if that were the case, the responsibility falls on the venue and we have to call all the guests. It would not be fair for anyone to know that they were at an event. I would want to know if I was in contact with anyone, especially since I have my extended family, my kids, my parents. So just think about that when you're going to places. If it's an event, a restaurant, now that the holidays, Christmas coming, just really be considerate for others.
Yep, I agree. I agree. And I think that as we go into 2021, I think that's a thought to keep going with, because this is not going away. It's going to be, whether you want to plan A, B, and C, and D, so that no matter what the CDC says, no matter what the COVID counts are at, that that you've planned accordingly for the dates, but just be safe. I think if you just think through and use common sense as to what is the betterment of the people that are around you, then you really can't go wrong. Just think through, how could my actions hurt or affect somebody else? And that's the best way to go. Before we get off, I do want to say again, because one thing we didn't mention, as we're in the loving season and everybody's getting it, this is the number one time of the year that people get engaged. So you are in a lovey-dovey relationship. Oh my gosh, someone could be springing a ring on you. But make sure and take a picture of it or a video so you can send it in and try to win. But I want to also say that there is nothing better than these cold days at night, sitting on a sofa with a little something in your hand and your boo next to you. And then you use your little remote and you start your engagement session with Giovanna and Yvette with Just Engage University, because it's still a buy one, get one free. So you can watch the first session and then go, oh my God, these guys are so great. We have so much to talk about. Let's talk about this. And then we're going to put in the other one, put in the next session. So anyway, it's still a buy one, get one free from the greatest engagement coaches known, man.
For me. Yes, right here, because I think we're the only ones. The best.
We don't need to know that, Gio. We're just the best.
We are the best because I've never met any other engagement coaches. Actually, people still ask me, what is that? And I explain, they're like, oh, that makes so much sense. I'm like, yes, that totally makes sense.
We're not engagement counselors. We're engagement coaches.
We're before you get married, not after. We try to make sure you don't have to do marriage counseling. We're trying to prevent all that. But we do talk about everything that marriage counselors talk about or marriage coaches talk about. So question to you.
Uh-oh.
Which Monday are we not doing? The Monday after Christmas?
Yeah.
Or the Monday before Christmas?
No. We're going to be on next week.
So
next week is free. We can come in our jammies and be real relaxed.
Technically, next week is our last live.
Yeah.
Because there's 3 Mondays left, but we only are doing one more after that. So
wait a minute, where's that on there?
Yeah. Because the 28th is after Christmas. So guys, we only have one more after this. And then you won't see us until the new year. Which means Yvette and I will be dropping some major news. Like, I even want to give you a sneak peek, but I can't. I will give you a sneak peek next week with our partners from Virtual. But Yvette and I have some exciting news and that we are going to be talking about for February. Mark your calendars. This is what I'll tell you because you may not know, because we haven't told anyone yet. Mark your calendars for 2/20/21 and 2/21/21. Okay? Just mark that. Next
Sorry,
week.
Mark.
Okay. Well, not you. I'm talking to our listeners and to our watchers. Yeah, it's marked. We have something going on. We'll come in our pajamas. We will actually come in our pajamas. The kids are out of school, so I'll probably have a mimosa next week. I don't know. I'm gonna get crazy. And we're gonna talk about some really exciting news. So if you need us before then, you know how to find us. Send us your engagement photos. Go look at all of the amazing things that we just put in the comments. We've shared our groups. We've shared our free group, our private group, 360 photo events photo booth. If you have any questions about pop-ups, call Yvette. She's doing consultations left and right. If you want to call me, you can call me as well. Anything else? Till next week.
Much mistletoeing.
All right. I'll see you next week. Bye.